Reading our production information today from Wikipedia for Genesis of the Daleks, conception and writing in particular. When planning stories for Season 12, producer Barry Letts and script editor Terrence Dix felt that it was time for Terry Nation to return to the series and write another Dalek adventure. Letts and Dix enjoyed the script Nation sent in, but found it too reminiscent of many of his previous Dalek stories. The two suggested that Nation instead write an origin story for the Daleks, originally titled Daleks Genesis of Terror. The serial was commissioned on the 1st of April 1974 and the scripts accepted on the 22nd of July. The stories lined up for the season were handed over to Letts and Dick's successors, producer Philip Hinchcliffe and script editor Robert Holmes, with whom Genesis of the Daleks gained a darker tone. Holmes was not a fan of frequent appearances by the Daleks and only allowed the story because it explored their origins. In an aim to make the series more adult, Hinchcliffe wanted the story to be pacey and make the Daleks appear more powerful. In a 2006 interview, Dick said that he does not believe the story would have been much different if he and Letts had been in charge, though he remarked he would have added some lighter moments to soften the grim tone. Director David Maloney stated that the images of war at the beginning of the serial were intended to create atmosphere, and he had no intention of losing the younger audience. The production of Genesis of the Daleks saw several changes from the script. Maloney altered the opening scene to show the soldiers gunned down by machine guns in slow motion. Nation was displeased with the change, and Maloney later felt that the violent addition was a bit much. Hinchcliffe and Maloney were not keen on the Doctor's original meeting with the Time Lord, which took place in a lush garden, and changed it to the Skaro war zone, which they felt more appropriate. The foul soldiers were originally supposed to be boys aged 15 or 16 to illustrate the youth of those fighting in the war, but this was later changed to make them appear more mature. In the Genesis of Terror script, Sarah Jane becomes ill in the 3rd episode from radiation poisoning, and Batten was a male who was introduced in the 4th episode. Part 5 originally had more action in the Dalek incubator room and ended with the Doctor's question of whether he had the right to destroy them.